And the last pair in funny car is coming up. It's Cruz Pedregon and John Force. On June 3rd, Snap-on hosted the Wounded Warrior Soldier Ride in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's designed to bring awareness to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's an organization dedicated to helping wounded veterans returning from Afghanistan and Iraq. 18-mile ride finished at the Great Lakes Naval Station and Great Lakes Naval Hospital at Great Lakes, Illinois, on the North Shore of Chicago. 500 participants.
And here comes John Force. Here comes Cruz Pedregon. This is a monster matchup. And guys, got to pay attention here to what's going on at the starting line. It's 99 degrees when this elimination round started, but all eyes really kind of go to the sky here. Talk to a lot of crew chiefs that say when that sun comes out very, very bright, this track has a tendency to go away very, very quickly. So having said that, the crew chiefs here, Danny G. Gennaro for the Snap-on car, and of course, Dean Guido Antonelli for John Force, have to be very, very mindful of that. Is it possible to see a pedal fest here? We haven't seen too many cars break loose, but neither one of these guys want to give each other even a tenth of an inch.
And you see, it is bright sun, at least at the starting line right now.
Well, and usually what the teams will do, they'll go into the box just before the run, and they'll actually change the timing curve, which will actually take a little bit of horsepower out in the middle of the racetrack to try to calm it down. Now, obviously, with the numbers they're seeing, they're not going to back it down too much. They might say, okay, we went up there to try to run a 410. Sun's out right now. Maybe I'll just try to run a 413 or a 414.
And Cruz Pedregon has never won this race. John Force has. Won here last year over Tim Wilkerson. Bob Tasca looks on because that's the guy that whoever wins this is going to face.
I mean, this is a great matchup. I mean, it always is when these two come to the line, but Cruz has been running pretty good this season, and obviously John, you can never count him out.
If you look carefully at their lights, you saw that John Force went in deep. It didn't help. Cruz Pedregon runs a 410, 311 miles an hour.
Track prep here.
Well, like you said, John Force went in deep, which gave him a better reaction time with 200s better off the start. But Cruz had made that up in 60 feet, and then he never looked back. A great run, a 410 elapsed time. Cruz run 265 miles per hour at the 8th mile. That means the track conditions were pretty good, and that means Cruz Pedregon was pretty aggressive in that Snap-on Toyota.
Yeah, Mike, I just wanted to do an update on Chris Karamesina since it had been so long, so many decades since he had won his last round. Well, look at this. His whole crew has more than doubled in size. His crew of volunteers, which about 5 or 6 earlier. Now I've counted as many as a dozen, 12, Baker's dozen, 13 people working on the car. They're putting the engine back together. Asked the Greek, you guys going to make it? He kind of smiled in disbelief and says, yeah, I think we're going to make it out there. And thanks to all those guys for helping. He said he didn't even know who they all were or what teams they were from, but it's guys from all over the pit whose cars have been knocked out have come over to give the Greek a hand.
Chris Karamesina, what a great story he has become this weekend, winning the first round of racing. The Lucas Oil Funny Car Ladder has Bob Tasca facing Cruz Pedregon when they go to round 2. Jack Beckman has Melanie Troxel. Melanie has lane choice, and she's beginning to look strong.
What great matchups. All the cars ran between a 407 and a 415, and on this side of the ladder is no different. Matt Hagan's going to have lane choice over Jeff Wren. Mike Neff will have lane choice over his teammate Robert Height.
And when you come back to the second round of Top Fuel, it's going to be that man, the grand champion in Top Fuel, Tony Schumacher. And he will face a guy who really needs a win. It's been over a year. That's Brandon Bernstein, the #1 qualifier.